Homogeneous equilibrium. What is homogeneous equilibrium? So if I have a reversible reaction where all the species are in the same phase, then the equilibrium which is achieved is called homogeneous equilibrium. Same phase, all should be in the same phase. Examples. First example. We have liquid as the phase. So CH3COH is reacting with C2H5OH. Both are liquids. And that is why I say it is a single phase. In the second reaction, if you see again, all are in the gaseous phase. So this is also an example of homogeneous equilibrium. So the other type will be heterogeneous equilibrium. At least two phases are present in the same reaction. So if two phases are present in the same reaction or process, then I call that equilibrium heterogeneous. Example. In the first reaction, calcium carbonate is in the solid phase. Calcium oxide is in the solid phase. Carbon dioxide is in the gaseous phase. So there are two phases present in the first reaction. One is solid and the other one is gas. That is why this is an example of heterogeneous equilibrium. In the second reaction again, solid and gas. These are the two phases. Carbon is in the solid phase, the other side the gaseous phase. Heterogeneous equilibrium. Okay, the next heading is this. Vapor density and degree of dissociation. So let us understand the relation between vapor density and degree of dissociation. Let's consider this dissociation where we have one reactant forming two different products. A, B, and C are the gaseous components. So A is dissociating to form B and C. At equilibrium, we will have A, B as well as C. Now let's understand the notations. When I start the reaction, I have only A with me. B and C are not present. I have only A. Initial vapor density is therefore the vapor density of A, which is nothing but capital T. So we denote it by capital T. At equilibrium, the vapor density is denoted by small d. So whenever you see capital T, it is the initial vapor density, and small t is the vapor density at equilibrium. Degree of dissociation of A is denoted by alpha. Okay, now what is capital D? We know that vapor density is half of molecular weight. So I can say that capital D is half of molecular weight of A because only A is present initially. And the vapor density at equilibrium is small d, which is half of molecular weight of mixture at equilibrium, because now at equilibrium I have a mixture of A, B, and C. So I need to find out the molecular weight of the mixture, and then half of that will give me the vapor density of the mixture at equilibrium. Now, mass of the system remains constant. So when the reaction begins, whatever is the mass at the time of the reaction at t equal to 0 is exactly same as the mass of the system when the reaction has reached equilibrium. Mass cannot change because that's the law of conservation of mass. Now also the volume is constant because I'm carrying out the reaction inside a closed vessel. And so I can say that mass upon volume is constant. Mass is constant, volume is constant, so mass upon volume is constant. Now, what is mass upon volume density? So I can say that density also is constant. Rho 1 is equal to rho 2. What is rho 1? Rho 1 is density at t equal to 0 when only A was present. And rho 2 is the density of the mixture at equilibrium. So let's start with the reaction. We have defined the terms, we have understood the density is constant. Let's start with 1 mole of A. So at equilibrium, I'll have 1 minus x moles of A left. X moles of B will be formed and X moles of C also will be formed. So what is alpha? Moles of A reacted upon initial moles of A. X moles of A have dissociated and initially I had 1 mole of A. X upon 1 will be the value of alpha. So alpha is equal to X. Now molar mass of the component, that is when the reaction started, I had only A. So molar mass of A is Ma. Capital M is the symbol for molar mass. Subscript A denotes that I am talking about only the molar mass of A. At equilibrium, let the molar mass of the mixture be denoted by Mx. So I can find out the value of Mx. Mx is what? Molar mass of the mixture. How do I find out molar mass of the mixture? Grams, total grams of the mixture upon total number of moles of the mixture. Total grams will be grams of A plus grams of B plus grams of C. So grams of A will be what? Molar mass of A multiplied by moles of A. So I have 1 minus x moles of A at equilibrium. Grams of B will be again moles of B multiplied by the molar mass of B. And similarly, grams of C I have to find out. One plus x is the total number of moles at equilibrium. How do I get 1 plus x? Moles of A plus moles of B plus moles of C. So P1 is the pressure at T equal to 0. That means when only A was present. A alone was there. So pressure was P1 due to A. P2 is the pressure at equilibrium. That is when I have A, B as well as C. Now, P1 upon P2 if I do, I'll get this. Because the value of pressure is directly proportional to the number of moles if volume and temperature are constant. Volume is constant because the vessel is closed. Temperature is constant. So 1 mole was equal to 0. And at equilibrium, we have 1 plus x moles. So P1 upon P2 is equal to 1 upon 1 plus x. Now using this relation, initial density is same as the final density. Density of an ideal gas is given by Pm by RT. So P1 Ma upon RT is equal to P2 Mx upon RT. From here I'll get this. So Mx upon Ma is 1 upon 1 plus x. So let's put the value of Mx. We found out the value of Mx, right? This was Mx. Let's put this value. So on rearranging this, we'll get finally Ma is equal to Mb plus Mc. M is what? M is the molar mass.
सर ये जो हमने प्रूव किया Ma इक्वल टू Mb प्लस Mc, ये तो हम कंजर्वेशन ऑफ मास से भी कह सकते थे.
Yes. But I wanted to find out everything because we'll be using these things ahead. Now, d upon t. What is d? Vapor density. So vapor density is equal to half of molar mass. Capital T is the initial vapor density, final vapor density at equilibrium is small d. Now already we have proved that M mix upon Ma is 1 by 1 plus x. So Ma upon M mix will be 1 plus x. Now x was alpha, so I can write d upon d is 1 plus alpha in this case. In general, the expression is this: d upon d is equal to 1 plus n minus 1 into alpha, where n is the sum of coefficients of the products. So you have to remember this expression: d upon d is equal to 1 plus n minus 1 into alpha. So alpha is the degree of dissociation. Okay, now some important terms, I mean the names that we use for the notations. Capital D is called theoretical or calculated vapor density. Theoretical or calculated vapor density is capital T. Small d is called observed or experimental vapor density. And Ma is called expected or normal molar mass. Mx is called abnormal or actual molar mass. Let's start with the questions. So I'll discuss the first question. Then the next question can be solved by me. Now see, vapor density of N2O4 was found to be 38.3 at a given temperature. Whenever they give you the value of vapor density in the question, that vapor density is always going to be equal to small d. Whenever the vapor density of something is given in the question, understand that the value of vapor density will be equal to small d. Small d is what? The vapor density at equilibrium. So that is by default. Whatever vapor density is given in the question is corresponding to the value of small d. So we know that small d is now 38.3. Initially, 100 grams of N2O4 were taken. And we have been asked to find out percentage dissociation of N2O4 and also number of moles of NO2. So 100 grams of N2O4 were taken initially. That means when I started the reaction, I had only N2O4 with me. So this is how I'm supposed to write. 100 grams need to be converted to moles. So I divide by the molar mass of N2O4 and I get number of moles as 100 upon 92. Let's assume that X moles of N2O4 have dissociated. If X moles of N2O4 dissociate, we will obtain 2X moles of NO2. What about the initial vapor density? Initial vapor density will be half of the molar mass of N2O4. So this is the value of initial vapor density, it is capital D is 46. Small d is given in the question. I can use the formula now. Small n is 2 by 2 because 2 is the coefficient of NO2. NO2 is my product here. So n is 2. From here I'll get the value of alpha. I can multiply alpha by 100 to get percentage dissociation. 100 into alpha is percentage dissociation. Okay. Now, we have been asked to find out the value of moles of NO2. 2x moles of NO2 are there. 2x moles of NO2 are there at equilibrium. So if I know the value of x, I can find out 2x. Now I know the value of alpha. Now alpha is nothing but moles dissociated upon moles taken initially. Initial number of moles is 100 upon 92. Moles dissociated is x. So alpha will be equal to x upon 100 upon 92. From here I can get the value of x. And now moles of NO2 at equilibrium is 2x. So 2 into 0.218. Try to solve this question. Copy the question. So what is given? Pressure at equilibrium is given. Initial pressure is given. Reaction is given. So we can start. At T equal to 0, the pressure is only because of Cl2O7. Let that pressure be equal to P naught mmHg. Now, if you look at the question, the value of P naught is given. Initial pressure was 500 millimeter mercury, so the value of P naught is 500 mmHg. So I know the value of P naught. So instead of taking moles, I'm taking directly pressures, because question has given me the pressures. Okay, after this, can I say this? So small p is the pressure which is reacted. So the partial pressure corresponding to moles reacted. And that is why 2p will be the pressure of ClO2 and 3p by 2 will be the pressure of oxygen. Okay, what next now? What should we do after this?
Find the value of P.
Yes, so how do we do that? What else is given? P naught is given to me.
Should P final भी दिया है तो
Yes.
ऐड करके फिर
हाँ. Pressure at equilibrium is given 750 mmHg. तो अगर मैं बोलूं pressure at equilibrium is 750 mmHg, that means I can say this total pressure, that is P naught minus P plus 2P plus 3P by 2 will be equal to 750. यहाँ से small p का वैल्यू आ जाएगा they have asked us to find out the value of partial pressure of ClO2, which is nothing but 2P. Is the value of partial pressure of ClO2. So once I know the value of small p, I can find out 2p. And degree of dissociation has also been asked. So degree of dissociation will be what? Small p upon p naught, because small p is corresponding to moles dissociated and capital P naught is the initial value of pressure. So small p upon p naught. So we have small p, we have p naught, put the value. So this is all from degree of dissociation. Next question. Now the reaction is not given, but I told you that we have to remember a few reactions. So this is one of those. NH4HS is being heated. If I heat NH4HS, I get this. NH3 and H2S. It is mentioned already that at equilibrium, the total pressure is 1.12 atm. That means this 1.12 atm is the total pressure at equilibrium. So at equilibrium, I can say this. Solids will be ignored. So P atm is the partial pressure of NH3. Also P atm is the partial pressure of H2S. Why is it equal for both the gases? Why have I written small p for both NH3 and H2S?
Moles formed will be equal.
The moles found will be equal because the coefficients are same. The coefficient of NH3 is 1. The coefficient of H2S is also 1. So depending on the moles, we will get the value of partial pressure. Moles formed will be equal, and so the partial pressures will also be equal. The total value of pressure is nothing but equal to the sum of partial pressures, which can be found out in this manner. The value of total pressure is given in the question, and small p is the partial pressure of each of these gases. So 2p will be equal to 1.12 and p will be equal to 0.56 atm. The question has asked us to find out Kp. Kp will be what? P into P, because solid side node. So P to the power of 1 into P to the power of 1, that is P squared. So Kp will be equal to P squared. So I have found out the value of Kp. Okay, another question where we have to prove. So this is similar to what we did in the beginning while we were finding out the relation between vapor density and degree of dissociation. But now the reaction is a bit different. In that we had A giving B plus C, and now it is given A is giving N moles of B. So I can start like this. So if X moles of A dissociate, then NX moles of B will be formed. So same thing, pressure is proportional to number of moles. Initial pressure is P naught, final pressure is PT. Moles at equilibrium is 1 minus x plus nx. Mx is the molar mass of the mixture, Ma is molar mass of A. And vapor density multiplied by 2 is nothing but equal to molar mass. So 2 will get cancelled. On rearranging this, we'll get this finally. Cross multiplying. X is nothing but equal to alpha. So alpha is degree of dissociation. On rearranging, I'll get this finally. As alpha is equal to x, so finally instead of x we got alpha. Next question. They have mentioned that equilibrium is established for this reaction and the volume of the vessel is 4 liters. Initially 10 grams of CaCO3 were taken. At equilibrium, 6 grams of CaCO3 were left. So we started the reaction with 10 grams of CaCO3. And at equilibrium, we are left with 6 grams of CaCO3. Calculate Kp. Find out the value of Kp and send me the answer in the chat section. It is straightforward, right? This is the reaction. Initially 10 grams of CaCO3 were taken. So I'll convert that to moles. Let's assume that X moles of CaCO3 have decomposed. So X moles of CaO will be there and X moles of CO2 will be there. Now it is mentioned that at equilibrium I have 6 grams of CaCO3 left. So 6 grams means 6 upon 100 moles. Six grams means 6 upon 100 moles. So I have obtained the moles of CO2. I can find out the value of partial pressure of CO2, nRT upon V. Temperature is 300, R is 0.082, moles we have 0.04, and volume of the vessel is 4 liters. So this is the value of partial pressure of CO2. Kp will be this because solids are ignored. So this is the value of Kp. There is a second part of this question. The second part says this. If volume is doubled, then find the number of moles of CO2 at new equilibrium. Volume is doubled means what? The initial volume is 4 liters. The volume of the vessel is now 8 liters because it has been doubled. If I double the volume of the vessel, Kp and Kc don't get affected because Kp and Kc depend only on temperature. So nothing happens to the values of Kp and Kc. So Kp and Kc remain constant. We know the value of Kp already. We can find out Kc using this formula. Delta Ng is 1 because CO2 is the only gaseous component. From here, I'll get the value of Kc. And Kc is nothing but concentration of CO2 to the power of 1. And concentration of CO2 is moles of CO2 upon volume of vessel. Now the new volume is 8 liters. So I'll put volume as 8 now. So moles of CO2 at equilibrium upon 8 is equal to Kc.
सर इसको बिना केसी के भी कर सकते थे।
हाँ कर सकते हैं, लेकिन वापस तुमको nRT/V करके मोल्स निकालने पड़ेंगे। Kp से करोगे ना तुम।
यस सर।
So Kp and Kc do not change with change in pressure or volume or concentration. So they will remain the same. Okay, next question. They have given us a reaction and they have also mentioned that the reaction is in equilibrium. And at equilibrium, there are 2 moles of PCl5, 1 mole of PCl3 and 1 mole of Cl2. इसका मतलब ऑलरेडी दे दिया है क्वेश्चन के अंदर कि कितने मोल्स प्रेजेंट है इक्विलिब्रियम पे। तो ये इनिशियल नहीं है, ये इक्विलिब्रियम है, क्योंकि दे हैव मेंशन्ड इन द क्वेश्चन एट इक्विलिब्रियम। दैट मींस इक्विलिब्रियम पे अगर कोई चीज दे के रखी है, मतलब पता है ऑलरेडी कि वो इक्विलिब्रियम कॉन्सेंट्रेशंस है, तो हम लोग कैसे निकाल सकते हैं। वॉल्यूम ऑफ द वेसल इज 1 लीटर, दे के रखा है क्वेश्चन के अंदर। So the equilibrium moles are known to us, so we can directly find out Kc because it is given in the question. So Kc will be this. तो ये जो 2 moles, 1 mole दे के रखे हैं, ये सब इक्विलिब्रियम पे ही दे के रखे हैं अकॉर्डिंग टू द क्वेश्चन। तो हम लोग डायरेक्टली इसको यूज कर सकते हैं Kc निकालने के लिए। Let's put the values. So Kc comes out to be 1/2. So I divided by 1 because the volume of the vessel is 1 liter. So every quantity in terms of moles was divided by 1. Okay, now what is happening? Let's see. If 3 moles of chlorine are introduced inside the vessel, what will be the new concentration of PCl3? We are adding 3 moles of chlorine now. मतलब already equilibrium पे जो चीजें थी, हम लोग अभी equilibrium को disturb कर रहे हैं। कैसे disturb कर रहे हैं? हम लोग 3 moles of chlorine डाल रहे हैं। Since we are adding 3 moles of chlorine, the equilibrium is getting disturbed. तो कुछ होने वाला है, मतलब तो क्या होगा वो हमको पता करना है। So when 3 moles of chlorine are introduced into the same vessel, then I can say that the new concentration of chlorine will become 1 plus 3/1. That is 4 moles per liter. because initially I had 1 mole of chlorine at equilibrium. So now if I add 3 moles, the total number of moles of chlorine will be 4. 4 upon 1, so concentration of chlorine becomes 4 moles per liter. But concentration of PCl3 will still remain 1 mole per liter and concentration of PCl5 will also remain 2 moles per liter. हमने PCl3 और PCl5 को कुछ नहीं किया है, मतलब ऐड नहीं किया है, हमने सिर्फ क्लोरीन के 3 मोल्स ऐड किए हैं. तो अगर मैं कुछ ऐसा करता हूँ, ऐड करता हूँ, तो ऑटोमेटिकली हमें देखना पड़ेगा कि व्हाट इज हैपनिंग. वो रिएक्शन पीछे जाएगा कि आगे जाएगा, उसके बाद तो वो देखना पड़ेगा. हाउ टू डिटरमाइन कि रिएक्शन को क्या होने वाला है. हाउ डू वी डिटरमाइन whether the reaction is going to move in the forward direction or in the backward direction.
क्यों निकालेंगे?
Yeah, so we'll find out Q. Q को निकालने के बाद हम लोग अगर Q और K को कंपेयर करेंगे तो हम लोग पता कर सकते हैं कि वो रिएक्शन पीछे जा रहा होगा कि आगे जा रहा होगा. तो अभी QC निकाल लिया मैंने. So once I know the value of QC, I can compare it with KC. यहाँ पे देखो KC कितना आया था हमें 1/2. QC is 2. Compare QC with KC. Since QC is more than KC, the reaction will go in the backward direction. तो अगर रिएक्शन बैकवर्ड डायरेक्शन में जाएगा तो हमें फिर रिवर्स रिएक्शन को लेना पड़ेगा व्हेन वी आर वर्किंग विद इट. तो अभी इनिशियली ये रिएक्शन था, इसको रिवर्स करके हम लोग लेंगे अभी, क्योंकि बैकवर्ड रिएक्शन हो रहा है. तो ये रिएक्शन बन जाएगा अभी. और फिर से जब इक्विलिब्रियम अचीव होगा तो ऐसा होगा. So this is the new equilibrium. Okay. Now, अगर ये सब बना है तो मैं इसका कैसे निकाल सकता हूं अभी न्यू इक्विलिब्रियम पे. तो इसका अगर केसी में निकालूं तो ऐसे निकाला जाएगा, because now the product becomes PCl5, so that will appear in the numerator. तो ये हो जाएगा अभी केसी का एक्सप्रेशन. And also can I say, since temperature has not changed, तो अगर जो केसी निकाला था पहले मैंने 1/2 जो वैल्यू आया था केसी का, वो इस वाले रिएक्शन के लिए आया था. But now I'm taking the backward reaction. So what will happen to the value of Kc? ये रिएक्शन के लिए Kc was 1/2. बट अभी हम लोग जो रिएक्शन ले रहे हैं वो बैकवर्ड रिएक्शन है ना, तो अभी क्या होगा Kc?
रेसिप्रोकल हो जाएगा.
Kc will become reciprocal. तो 1/2 का रेसिप्रोकल इज 2, तो इसके लिए मैंने इस वाले रिएक्शन का केस 2 होना चाहिए, तो ये हो जाएगा। Put the concentrations. 1 liter is the volume, so every quantity in terms of moles will be divided by 1. तो ये आ जाएगा फाइनली। इसको सॉल्व करने से ऐसा आएगा। We have obtained a quadratic equation. We can solve the quadratic equation now by using the formula. क्या होता है formula? X is equal to minus b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. यहाँ पे डाल दूंगा वैल्यूज में अगर, तो दिस इज a, -11 इज b and 6 इज c. तो इससे मुझे x की वैल्यू निकालने में ऐसा फॉर्मूला यूज करना पड़ेगा। So I'll obtain 11 plus minus root 73 upon 4. Now how do I find out the value of root 73? Let's do that. See, 8 square is 64. 9 square is 81. तो अगर मुझे 73 का स्क्वायर रूट चाहिए तो 73 का स्क्वायर रूट will be somewhere between 8 and 9. So it will be more than 8 but less than 9. So इतना मुझे पता चल गया है कि the square root of 73 will be between 8 and 9. तो अब मैं क्या करूंगा, 8.5 लेके चेक करूंगा क्या हो रहा है इसका। So 8.5 का अगर मैं स्क्वायर करूं तो 85 into 85 करूंगा पहले, तो ये 5 into 5 25 हो जाएगा। 8 का प्लस 1 करूंगा तो 9 आएगा। दिस इज अ शॉर्टकट। So 9 into 8 will be 72. So this is the square of 85. That is 7225. इसका मतलब 8.5 का स्क्वायर is 72.25. काफी क्लोज आ चुके हैं हम लोग, हमें 73 चाहिए था, 72.25 तक आ चुके हैं। मतलब इससे थोड़ा सा ज्यादा करेंगे तो 8.5 से थोड़ा सा ज्यादा करेंगे तो मैंने 8.52 8.53 के आसपास कुछ ले लिया। अगर मानो 8.54 ले लिया मैंने, जस्ट एन आर्बिट्रेरी वैल्यू, तो मान लेते हैं कि स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ 73 इज 8.54। तो तुम 8.52 लेके भी करो तो भी चलेगा। So I'll obtain two values of x if I take 8.54 as root 73. Let's see which is a feasible value. अब देखो दोनों सही नहीं हो सकते, कोई एक ही सही होगा, feasible होगा राधा। 4.885 का क्या है देखते हैं। अगर मैं x की वैल्यू 4.885 डालूं तो यहाँ पे 4 minus 4.885 will be a negative value. ये नेगेटिव आ रहा है. How can number of moles be negative? This means 4.885 is not a feasible solution. तो उसको हम लोग इग्नोर करेंगे और दूसरे वाले वैल्यू को उठा लेंगे. So 0.615 will be taken as my feasible solution. Because number of moles can never be negative. किसी भी रिएक्टेंट या किसी भी प्रोडक्ट का नंबर ऑफ मोल्स कैनॉट बी नेगेटिव. इसके लिए 4.885 को नहीं ले सकते, 0.615 को ले लेंगे. 0.615 को ले लेंगे तो x की वैल्यू आ गई 0.615. हमें निकालने के लिए क्या बोला था? Find out the concentration of PCl3 at new equilibrium. So PCl3 ka moles upon volume of vessel. That will be the new concentration of PCl3. So how many moles of PCl3 do we have now? We have 1 minus x moles of PCl3 at the new equilibrium. So if you take x as 0.615, यहाँ से आ जाएगा आपका moles of PCl3. So 1 minus x is the number of moles of PCl3. I'll divide this by 1 because volume of vessel is 1 liter to get the concentration of PCl3. So this is the new concentration of PCl3. So the final answer is this 0.385 moles per liter. Next question. So 102 grams of NH4HS have been taken. The value of volume is given as 2 liters. Temperature is T Kelvin. Now, there are two reactions which are happening inside the beaker, and both the reactions have reached equilibrium after some time. So eventually, both will attain equilibrium. The question has mentioned that there are two reactions. The following two equilibria are established. So both the reactions will attain equilibrium. inside the vessel. Also, it is given that 1 mole of the solid has been consumed. Which is a solid here? NH4HS is a solid here. 1 mole of NH4HS has been consumed. That means 1 mole of NH4HS has reacted. So that is already given. One mole of the solid has been consumed. Also, it is found that there are 0.75 moles of hydrogen. So at equilibrium, 0.75 moles of hydrogen are found. This is hydrogen. So 0.75 moles of hydrogen are found at equilibrium. Find the equilibrium concentration of NH3. This is the question. So both the reactions are taking place inside the same vessel. Initially, 102 grams of NH4HS were taken. I'll convert grams to moles. So when I start with NH4HS giving NH3 and H2S, I can say that 2 moles were taken initially because 102 grams is equal to 2 moles. Now read that statement carefully. 1 mole of the solid has been consumed. 1 mole has been consumed. So I can say that after the minus sign, I'm supposed to put 1 because after minus sign, whatever I write, that indicates the number of moles reacted or consumed. So 1 mole of NH4HS has reacted. If 1 mole of NH4HS reacts, how many moles of NH3 should be formed? If 1 mole of NH4HS reacts, then how many moles of NH3 should be formed?
1 mole.
1 mole of NH3 should be formed as per the stoichiometric coefficients. And how many moles of H2S should be formed?
1 mole.
1 mole.
So 1 mole. तो उतना तो पता है, ठीक है। तो अगर ये रिएक्शन चल रहा है तो ऐसा होना चाहिए। 1 mole of NH4HS has reacted, so I'll obtain 1 mole of NH3 and I'll obtain 1 mole of H2S. लेकिन ये अकेला नहीं है, इसके साथ और एक रिएक्शन भी चालू हो चुका है। तो जो NH3 यहाँ पे बना है, वापस वो NH3 यूज अप हो रहा है इस रिएक्शन में। तो कुछ मोल्स वापस NH3 के रिएक्ट होंगे, डिसोसिएट होंगे। तो अगर मान लेते हैं X moles of NH3 have dissociated in this reaction, then X upon 2 moles of N2 will be formed and 3X upon 2 moles of H2 will be formed. So finally ये रहेगा मेरे पास NH3 का moles, that is 1 minus X. जब मैं लिखूंगा यहाँ पे 1 minus X moles of NH3, तो यहाँ पे भी मुझे लिखना पड़ेगा 1 minus X moles of NH3 क्योंकि वैसे तो सेम है। तो उसी वेसल के अंदर फाइनली NH3 कितना है, वही इक्विलिब्रियम पे ना, T equal to TQ पे. So I'm supposed to write 1 minus X moles of NH3 left at equilibrium, क्योंकि वो कॉमन कंपोनेंट है दोनों रिएक्शंस में. याद रखो जब भी कोई कंपोनेंट कॉमन होगा दो रिएक्शंस के बीच में, यानी दो रिएक्शंस में प्रेजेंट है सेम स्पीशीज, तो ऑब्वियसली उसके नंबर ऑफ मोल्स सेम रहेगा फाइनली एट इक्विलिब्रियम फॉर बोथ द रिएक्शंस. So the number of moles of NH3 at equilibrium is not 1, it is 1 minus X, because X moles have reacted in this reaction. So जो कंपोनेंट कॉमन है दो रिएक्शंस में, उस कंपोनेंट का जो फाइनल नंबर ऑफ मोल्स होता है वो सेम होता है फॉर बोथ द रिएक्शंस. Now in the question they have mentioned that there are 0.75 moles of hydrogen. तो हाइड्रोजन के कितने मोल्स बने हैं, 3x/2 बने हैं. So 3x/2 moles of hydrogen जो बने हैं वो कितने के बराबर है, exactly that is equal to 0.75. I'll get the value of X from here. So moles of hydrogen कितने हैं, 3x/2, which is nothing but equal to 0.75. I have been asked to find out the concentration of ammonia at equilibrium. तो क्या होगा वो, 1 minus X moles of ammonia upon volume of vessel, which is 2 liters. It is given that the volume of the vessel is 2 liters. So 1 minus X moles of ammonia are present at equilibrium and volume of vessel is 2 liters. So the concentration of ammonia at equilibrium will be 1 minus X/2. Put the value of X as 0.5 and I'll get this. So 0.25 moles per liter is the final concentration of ammonia at equilibrium. Okay, next question.
सर लास्ट क्वेश्चन में एक डाउट था.
Hmm.
सर यहाँ पे आपने X को नंबर ऑफ मोल्स ऑफ अमोनिया जो डिसोसिएट हुए हैं वो लिया है.
Yes.
सर तो फिर मेरा फाइनल मोल्स तो 1 ही होना चाहिए ना. 1 minus X और 1 minus X हमने ले लिया तो 2 minus 2X हो गए फाइनल मोल्स. सर
X
टोटल
moles
मोल्स
of
अमोनिया के 1 ही होने चाहिए ना.
कि नहीं, 1 मोल ऑफ अमोनिया जो बना था रिएक्शन 1 में, उससे वापस X डिसोसिएट हो गए ना। रिएक्शन 1 में तो अमोनिया 1 ही बना था, 1 मोल, बट अभी 1 मोल बनने के बाद उस 1 से भी वापस कुछ डिसोसिएट होना चालू हो गया, तो वो X मोल्स डिसोसिएट हुए हैं। तो
Okay,
कितने
sir.
बचे रहे फिर? 1 माइनस X ही बचेंगे ना।
Yes, sir.
Okay, next question. This is the last question. So we have a dissociation where X2 is dissociating to give 2X. At T equal to 0, I have 1 mole of X2 only, it is mentioned. That means I don't have any X present. It's pure X2 which is present. And the number of moles of X formed at equilibrium is beta. The total pressure at equilibrium is 2 bar. अब देखो, एक चीज आपको याद रखनी है, मैंने पहले भी बताया था ये, कि जब भी किसी इक्विलिब्रियम के क्वेश्चन में बोलेंगे द टोटल प्रेशर इज सो एंड सो, दैट मींस दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द टोटल प्रेशर एट इक्विलिब्रियम. वो वर्ड इक्विलिब्रियम मेंशन्ड नहीं है, बट इट इज बाय डिफॉल्ट अंडरस्टूड. सो व्हेनेवर दे से दैट द टोटल प्रेशर इज दिस, दैट मींस इट इज द टोटल प्रेशर एट इक्विलिब्रियम. The total pressure at equilibrium is 2 bar. Find Kp in terms of beta. What is beta? Moles of X formed at equilibrium is beta. Find Kp in terms of beta. Can beta be equal to 0.7 moles? Justify. So there are two parts to the question. The first part asks us to find out the value of Kp. The second part asks us whether beta can be 0.7 moles. And if yes, why? If no, why? और एक चीज देके रखिए, वो है ये, डेल्टा जी नॉट फॉर द अबव रिएक्शन इज पॉजिटिव. अब हम लोगों ने डेल्टा जी नॉट सीखा था थर्मो में. So delta G naught is what? Delta G naught is equal to minus RT ln K, where K is the equilibrium constant. So यहाँ पे बोल के रखा है कि delta G naught is positive for the above reaction. Fine. So let's see how we will use this. First of all, normal चीज करेंगे, Kp निकालने के लिए reaction लिखेंगे, और बोला है अगर 1 mole present था तो 1 mole से चालू करेंगे, because they have mentioned that in the beginning there is only 1 mole of X2. So I can write this equation. So at T equal to 0, 1 mole of X2 is present. At T equal to TEQ, that is at equilibrium, I have 1 minus X moles of X2 present. Okay. Now it is given that the total pressure at equilibrium is 2 bar. अगर मुझे total pressure मालूम है, तो मोल फ्रैक्शन निकाल के मैं फिर मोल फ्रैक्शन मल्टीप्लाइड बाय टोटल प्रेशर करके पार्शियल प्रेशर निकाल सकता हूं. क्यों मुझे निकालना है पार्शियल प्रेशर? क्योंकि Kp चाहिए. Kp is in terms of partial pressures. So हर एक का पार्शियल प्रेशर मैं निकालूंगा, X2 का भी और X का भी. What is partial pressure? Partial pressure is equal to mole fraction into total pressure. What is mole fraction of X2? Mole fraction of X2 will be 1 minus X upon total moles is this multiplied by this. This will be the partial pressure of X2. partial pressure of X will be mole fraction of X into total pressure. So this will be equal to partial pressure of X. Now total pressure is given to us as 2 bar, तो PT के बदले में सीधा 2 बार मैं लिख सकता हूँ. Right? Okay. Also, it is given that number of moles of X formed at equilibrium is beta. कितने moles X के यहाँ पे बने हैं? 2x. So I can say that 2x is equal to beta, or X is equal to beta upon 2. तो पार्शियल प्रेशर x2 का निकाला. अब x को बीटा अपॉन 2 डाल देते हैं, क्योंकि हमें बीटा के टर्म्स में निकालने के लिए बोला है. तो ये आ जाएगा. Similarly, partial pressure of x, mole fraction of x into 2, ये आ जाएगा. केपी निकालने बोला है, तो केपी के लिए फॉर्मूला लगाएंगे. Partial pressure of product to the power of 2, because 2 is the coefficient of product, upon partial pressure of reactant to the power of 1, because 1 is the coefficient of reactant. तो ये हो जाएगा केपी का एक्सप्रेशन. डाल देते हैं वैल्यूज px के और px2 के. px ये है, px2 ये है. बीटा के टर्म्स में जो वैल्यू निकाला है वो डालेंगे, तो ऐसा आ जाएगा. सो केपी का वैल्यू बीटा के टर्म्स में आ जाएगा. इसको आगे सॉल्व करेंगे, अगर सिंप्लीफाई करेंगे तो. Two minus beta into 2 plus beta in the denominator can be written as 4 minus beta square. I am using the identity a minus b into a plus b is equal to a square minus b square. तो ये आ जाएगा केपी का वैल्यू. Okay, now let's look at the second part. क्या पूछा है कि बीटा का वैल्यू 0.7 हो सकता है या नहीं हो सकता? Can beta be equal to 0.7? Justify. And delta G naught for the above reaction is positive. अब देखो, अगर मैं बीटा डालूं, बीटा का वैल्यू 0.7 डाल दूं, तो ऐसा आएगा 8 into 0.7 square upon 4 minus beta square. If I solve this, ये आता है 1.11, which is greater than 1. So Kp is more than 1 if beta is 0.7. Kp is more than 1 if beta is 0.7. Now, let's use the information about delta G naught. They have said that delta G naught is positive if delta G naught is positive. Now delta G naught is minus RT ln Kp. Kp इसलिए लिया है क्योंकि gases है. Remember this, if the reaction has gaseous species, then I take delta G naught is equal to minus RT ln Kp. अगर aqueous species है तो delta G naught is equal to minus RT ln Kc. So delta G naught is positive. It's given in the question. अब पॉजिटिव है तो माइनस RT ln Kp भी पॉजिटिव रहेगा. So minus RT ln Kp positive है. If minus RT ln Kp is positive, I can say this mathematically ऐसा. Positive means greater than 0. लेकिन माइनस ln Kp ग्रेटर देन 0 अगर हो रहा है तो मतलब ln Kp should be less than 0. Right. If minus something, let's say minus y is more than 0, that means y is less than 0. तो ln Kp less than 0 हो गया. अब ln क्या होता है? 2.303 log Kp to the base of 10. So log Kp is less than 0. If log Kp is less than 0, I can say Kp is less than 1. Because log of any number which is less than 1 is negative. So log of x is negative if x is less than 1. That means Kp is less than 1. But अगर मैंने 0.7 डाला बीटा को तो Kp आ रहा है more than 1. That means beta cannot be equal to 0.7. Hence, we conclude that beta cannot be 0.7.